In this video, Kyle Mick, Chief AI Officer at Dura Digital, walks through a demo using Replit and shares how we're experimenting with AI-assisted application development.
As we talk about Replit, we're going to talk a little bit about vibe coding. When we think about vibe coding, or at least one way to think about it, is really that you're kind of just describing the vibe. You're describing the application through English, and you're letting the agents or the AI go away and build it entirely. So you're giving up a lot of freedom. What's kind of good about that is that it allows people that are less skilled in software development and software creation to build things, which is really powerful if you think about building prototypes and such. So where this sort of sits is somewhere between something like anti-gravity and something like Lovable. So Lovable is definitely more on the vibe coding side than Replit. Replit allows you to, it sort of has this agent mode where you can be completely vibe coding, but it allows you to even pull that code into GitHub. It allows you to examine the database. It allows you to create something in Replit and then move to traditional coding if you prefer. So it's trying to cater to everybody, but it does have that sort of ease of use ability and really lets you build things the way you want to build them. So we're going to walk through first what it's like to create an application from scratch and just the prompting. And then we're going to jump over, well, that one works and the agents start work on building that application. We're going to jump over to one that we've built already. So this is the sort of starting point if you're going to create an app with Replit. It gives you some options on whether it's a data app, a game. You can do design first, which of course, if we were building software, we would ideally do. Just have mock-ups and things before we actually start building anything. I'm going to pull a prompt that I've set up. So I created a really simple prompt to create a FIFA World Cup pool. So we essentially, to create an application where it would allow us to pick the teams that are going to win as the World Cup starts and progresses. I just kept it really, really simple for demo purposes. And then I fed it to Perplexity to sort of make that prompt a little bit more robust. So I'm going to take Perplexity's prompt and I'm going to give it back to Replit so it can build our World Cup fantasy pool application. I'm going to click start and it'll start reading through the prompt and thinking about what it should do. One of the things that I have liked about Replit, and I haven't used all of the other vibe coding tools, is that it seems to be quite good at asking you things as opposed to just assuming and moving forward, whether that's about integrations and how you want to integrate or how you want to proceed. You'll see here the agents are getting engaged. They've copied the plan over. We're going to let those agents continue to build. And I'm going to jump over to another application while this continues, just to walk through a little bit more of the Replit interface. So one of the other apps that we've been working and iterating on is a utilization tracker for Dura Digital. One of the things that I may have highlighted this that is interesting about Replit too, and it sort of opened my eyes just about the pattern, is that it has specific agents created for specific roles on a team. So it has sort of the developer agents, it has an architect agent, and it has like a QA agent that goes through and tests the application. So as an example, you'll see on the left-hand side where really the conversation and the prompting all happens. Our application wasn't really accessible or as accessible as it could be when we first created it. So I gave it this simple prompt that was just saying, can you audit the color contrast and fix any contrast issues? So you can see that the agent actually will go through and audit the application. It'll tell you what it's doing, kind of walk you through all of the steps that it's taking. So this is our utilization tracker app. Again, POC, it probably took about 40 minutes of human effort, maybe about the same of agent effort to build it. But the idea being that it created this dashboard to help us track utilization, sort of current overview. Funny enough, the only card on the screen that I actually asked it to in the initial prompt to create was this bottom grid that talks about like, hey, how do we sort? We want to be able to see people's utilization. Everything else that's sort of created through intuition, I guess, but a lot of these cards are super helpful and we likely would have added over time. It also created a trends breakdown and light and dark mode it built as well. And I think one of the more complex parts that it handled really well is where we actually manage our resources. So having this grid, and you can imagine as we continue to get larger, there's just test information here right now, but being able to sort and filter by our studios, by our clients, by our projects, and manage utilization, and to just easily add in expected values, add people to projects if we want to. It created all this with not a lot of guidance, to be honest. So for simple applications, or applications with less than moderate complexity, I would say it does a pretty good job. I'm going to jump back now and just see how our World Cup app is building. So from that World Cup prompt that I shared, this is the app that I created. So it kind of inferred all of the design. It highlighted all of these things based on just what it found and based on the prompt that Perplexity gave it. Something else that's interesting is it actually highlights proposed tasks. So from the prompt that we gave it, it built the initial, let's say, the MVP of the application, but it flagged all of these things that we might want to do, such as add email notifications for users when matches are coming up, integrate live matches through an API, add user profile pages. And so at this point of the initial build, you could do something like dismiss. You could decide, hey, I know what features I want to build next for the app, so I don't need to listen to these. Or you can copy one or two of them. Or you can just say, these all look great. Please keep building the application and iterating on it. And then the agents will go away and continue working.
I think one thing, Kyle, you could call out is just like how much the utilization tracker actually cost. Weren't you saying it was like $20-ish?
Exactly, yeah. And what's kind of fun about it is, you can actually cost per time worked. So where it says it's worked for, like in this case, it worked for 11 minutes to fix those accessibility issues. It costs $3.18. The entire utilization tracker was, definitely less than 25.
Thanks for presenting, Kyle. If you're curious how this approach could work for your team, feel free to reach out and we can talk through some practical use cases. Thanks for watching.